Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you probably saw in the thumbnail for this video that this was one of my response videos. What does that mean? It means every week I do a larger spread. And right now I'm in the middle of my deep dive into the Lenormand system. So I've done a larger Lenormand spread. And then I do a second video, namely a video like this, that is a response to that. Now, I ask the question, what is the central message of this week's XXX spread? So for this time, it's this week's Lenormand spread. And then I lay cards out and I try to extract either a more condensed version of the larger spread, or else we get another layer of meaning to the larger spread of the week. And so this week I've got a couple of very special decks for you, actually. Well, especially one is a very, very special deck, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But because this is a response video, I highly recommend that you go and watch the first video so you understand the context from which I am answering the question for this week's spread. Well, because we always read cards in response to a question, right? And the question provides the context, and the question for this video's spread bounces off of a larger context that it would be helpful if you knew. So I will put a card up here for you to hop on over, watch that video, and then come back here to watch this one. Okay? So now, you know, you do not have to watch any of these videos in one sitting if you don't want to. There are no police out to get you if you don't watch them in one sitting. You can watch them in bits and pieces. And just in case you did watch that video in bits and pieces, or you watched it a few days ago and you just want a quick refresher of what it was you saw, let me remind you that the title to that video was Liberation of Love. Liberation of Love. And I landed on that, if you recall, that title, in a roundabout way. It took me quite a while to get to that title. Yeah? The video was a discovery for me as I was reading it with you, right? I was reframing my understanding of the spread as I was speaking it with you. You remember that, right? And we were talking about how we may have had some difficulty with a love relationship in the recent past, and there was an ending to things now, especially an ending to the feelings of burden, of not the feelings of burden, the feelings of being problems, little things eating away at us, and that would be giving us the opportunity with a partner, perhaps even the same partner, to find our path and to launch forward, to take flight into a new cycle, a new stage of our journey in life. Right, you recall that. Yeah, there are a lot of interesting cards in interacting with each other in that spread. So again, I highly recommend that you go back and watch that. But this week, and just in case you already have, yeah, I've got a whole spread already laid out. What are we going to do? First, I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to say thank you for a couple of things. One, thank you for being patient with this office. Yeah, I told you that I moved back in very rapidly at the end of last week, and I came back this week, and the new semester began this week. So it's a time of busyness and reorganization, and some things fall by the wayside. So I have not put my shelves back in order yet. However, they will be back in order in the near future. Second thing I am going to thank you for is understanding why I have shaved my beard. Just in case you are one of the people who were very, very happy seeing me grow a beard, I'm sorry it's gone. It was becoming a little bit painful. Yeah, so other things have to fall by the wayside too. The third thing I want to thank you for is doing those things you do. Now, for hitting the thumbs up button, for subscribing to the channel, all of those things that you do and have done help other people find us. And after they've found us, some of them decide to stay and join us, which is wonderful. Our community increases. So, thank you. Thank you for those things you do. And for commenting. Those of you who comment in the below or beside, wherever your comments show up, are also a blessing for me personally, because I love hearing from you, and for the community. So thank you for doing all of those things that you do. Now, friends, I've got the spread right here in front of me. And what I will do is I will show you the spread, and we will talk about the decks and how the spread is set up. And then we'll break the spread down into its two major component parts and read those parts together. Okay, friends, are you all ready? Here we go. Here's the spread. Friends, this is my time to apologize. Why am I apologizing? Well, you saw two decks on the screen, right? The top deck, the top three cards are from a tarot deck, and the bottom three cards are from an oracle deck. The oracle deck is the I-ching oracle. It was a Kickstarter when I purchased it, or when I funded it, I should say, and it's available. To my knowledge, it is available. So I will put a link in the description box below so you can go and get that deck. The tarot deck above, to my knowledge, is unavailable. This is the Roots of Asia Tarot. Now, don't jump all over me if you think it is not. It is. This is the Roots of Asia Tarot, and the artist for the deck, it's been out of print for a long time. Well, a long time, a few years. Okay, so in modern tarot history, a few years is a long time, right? So it's been out of print for a few years, but the artist of the deck did a limited run reprint, and I happen to know a friend, actually a student of one of the artists, and I was able to get a copy of it. It's a deck that I've been wanting for as long as I've known about it, and was crushed that I wasn't able to get a copy of it, and I kept my eyes open, and I finally got a copy, and I'm deeply, 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 eternally grateful to the kind, loving man who gave me this limited print edition reprint of this deck. It's gorgeous, and I hope you think it's gorgeous too. But I'm sorry, I don't have a link to give you so you can purchase it. If I do find a way to get this deck, I will add it to the description box below, but don't hold your breath. But I did want to use this deck, especially now. So, friends, what kind of a spread was it you just saw? Just in case you are new to tarot or new to me, let me tell you how I laid the cards. Now, the tarot cards are in what we call a three-card spread, right? Three-card spread, a positional spread. The first card is situation or general significant response, yeah. The second card is challenge. The third card is advice. So the question I ask is what is the central message for this week's Lenormand Spread? So the first card is the primary response. That's the response. The second card is, so then what's the challenge? Now the challenge can be positive, something we're trying to reach for, we're heading towards, we're putting our energy in the direction of attaining, or a challenge in the sense of obstacle, a more negative challenge. And then the third card is advice. So what are we going to do about it, right? Now, the three oracle cards you saw below, I set the intention that each one of those cards was going to modify the tarot card above, sort of like an adjective modifies a noun. So what we're going to do is first we'll read the tarot cards, And then we'll go back, we'll look at the oracle cards and see how those cards modify the message of the tarot card above. Does that make sense? They add a layer of information or will slightly adjust the significance or meaning of the tarot card above it, right? And then we'll get hopefully a precise message, meaning, information. Are you all ready? Okay, friends, here we go. Here is the 3-card spread of tarot cards from above, yeah? Here it is. Friends, for the first time in a long time, I have not photographed the spread yet. And I hope you were able to see the images on the cards, especially for the Roots of Asia cards, clearly enough. Because I can see where it might be a little difficult to photograph these well. I'm going to try my best because of the kind of artwork it is. But they are beautiful cards. They really are beautiful. I'm so grateful to have these. I've been waiting for the right time to use them. And you saw, from left to right, we had 3 cards, the Judgment card, the 6 of Wands, and the 4 of Pentacles. Yeah? So 1 major, 1 fire card, and 1 earth card. So if we're looking at elemental dignities, there's no particular benefit or detriment to these two, the Wands and the Pentacles, being together. Yeah, they're neutral towards each other, so that's okay. And we're doing, like I said, it's a positional spread. So we start off with the Judgment card, and this, I'm sorry, is a beautiful card. Well, they're all beautiful cards, but let me show you this Judgment card, and let's see what do you see in this card? What do you see? You see the chalice-looking thing, right? Yeah? Down there in the lower center? Do you see a larger image on this card? Where is that chalice? What do you see in the fuller image? So I'm going to pull this card away just for a second, because it looks to me, what I saw the first time was a tree in a valley with a waterfall. Now, what I first saw was a tree in a valley with a waterfall, and I thought, okay, that's the Judgment card? Sure. Maybe you already saw it, but I did not at first. There's a person there, kind of, yeah? The tree is not in a valley necessarily. The tree is sitting in the palms of a person's hand. Yeah, the arms coming up are what we see as a valley, right? And we see what looks like an orb above. That is where the person's head would be. But do you see those hands at the bottom, down here? Those hands? So there's this idea of maybe a Buddha figure or a spiritual being figure cupping a tree and the world in its hands and having a sphere, maybe a universe for a mind. We see rocks that seem to be coming down, but they're actually the arms of the being, yeah? The thing that looks like it might be a waterfall or some kind of a fall of light is the chest of the being, right? It's a gorgeous card. Yeah? And actually, I'm not even sure if the human figure might not even be standing, sitting, might not even be sitting, it might be a standing figure. So, what do we see there? We see life being cradled in the hands of the divine, right? We see the light of the divine coming down to feed the light in the tree. You see that the tree has a light in the center, yeah? Kind of like the divine has a light here. If we think of the face as a sphere, right? There's this light up here, and there's a light in the center of the tree. Do you see both of those? Yeah, so the tree is cradled in the hands of this divine celestial being, and the light in the tree is an echo, a reflection, a copy of the light in the mind of the divine. So yeah, life is supported and protected by the divine, you could say. So what is the judgment card for most of us? It's rebirth, it's awakening. There's an inner calling, right? That inner calling comes from the light of the divine within us, just like the light within the tree is here in the card, right? It could be epiphany, a spiritual realization. There are more negative ways of seeing the card. Absolution, okay, so maybe absolution isn't 100% negative, but it implies a negative environment from which absolution is required, right? Judgment, actual judgment, you good, you bad, judgment, right? Those are ways of looking at it, but here, what I see is rebirth. And that rebirth, that new growth of the tree, with the light of the divine within it, is supported by the divine. So it's not like we're being said, hey, you, get reborn, wake up, go do your thing, it's your job, and you're being left to your own devices, right? Even within that calling, that awakening, we are still supported by the divine. And I think that's the significant response to my question, what is the central message for this week's Lenormand Spread? Remember I titled it, Liberation of Love. That liberation was to a new stage, a new leg of the journey of our lives, right? That's a calling to move on, to move forward in love. And we're being told here that love and that moving forward, that reawakening, that rebirth is supported by the divine here as well. Significant, very significant. The next card is the Six of Wands. I love this Six of Wands for several reasons. One, we see, what animal do you see there? Do you see that lion there? There among the 6 trees? Now let me double check. It's been a while since I counted. Let me make sure I see 6 trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, there are 6 trees and a kind of lotus platform beneath the lion. Lotus platform being a kind of platform that, for example, the Buddha sits on. Yeah, often in statues at temples, the Buddha is sitting on a lotus platform. So this lion here is honored, right? Is perhaps even enlightened, an enlightened lion. It being the wand suit, a lion is very appropriate because wands are fire, Leo is a lion, and Leo is a fire sign, wands fire. Yeah, it makes sense. And we see these lotuses also growing up above the head of the lion. And lions are, of course, the king of the jungle, right? So what is the Six of Wands? Success, progress, victory, right? Public recognition. We don't see much public in this card, but, who knows? There could be a lot of other creatures gazing in adoration at this lion, glowing as this lion is glowing on top of the lotus platform. But from the lion standpoint, there's also self-confidence here, right? Self-recognition. I am worthy. I am acceptable. I am a being of the divine light. So that's the challenge, right? As we are woken up with, and supported by the divine, but woken up to new life, here, the challenge is to feel our progress, to feel our success, our self-confidence, our self-worth. To be able to exalt ourselves. Not in an negatively framed egotistic way, where I'm better than everybody else, right? Raising ourselves up as we step on the heads of other people and squash them down. Not that kind of egotism, right? It's the healthy ego of I am successful. I am worthy. I am a divine spark. I am a living representation of the divine here on earth. So are you, and so are you, and so are you. But so am I, right? I deserve to be on this lotus platform just as much as anybody else. That's the challenge, that we are worthy. And we can recognize our worthiness. And maybe other people recognize it too. Yippee, yeah? But the most important thing is that I recognize it. And that I recognize that the divine recognizes it too. That the universe, that the universal consciousness recognizes that I am worthy of being here, where I am, on my journey. And then the next card was a little bit problematic for me, frankly, for a couple of reasons. One, the Four of Pentacles. What do we usually think of? What do I usually think of when I think of the Four of Pentacles? I think of the image by Pamela Coleman Smith, the guy with the crown sitting on top of what could be a castle, the castle roof with little parapets, whatever it's called, the crinoline, the like this part of the top of a castle wall, yeah. Two large pentacles under his, looks male, his feet, one pentacle above his head and one being clutched here at his chest. And the first thing that I think of is greed, miserliness. I think of the medieval version of Ebenezer Scrooge, right? So the Four of Pentacles as an advice card is at least momentarily jarring. I'm supposed to be greedy. I'm supposed to be miserly. I'm supposed to be what? Frugal. Frugal in a negative sense. Not careful with how I'm spending my money, but frugal in the sense of penny pinching. Not being willing to spend stuff. Yeah? That's how I usually think of the Four of Pentacles. But then this card is different. It's not a medieval guy sitting on his castle. What do you see the creature? It's an elephant, right? It's an elephant with one pentacle at the bottom in the curl of its trunk. Do you see that? And then the other three pentacles, right? There's one at the forehead of the elephant. There's one above the head of the elephant. And then there's one at the side flank of the elephant, I would say. You see those four? Beautiful image. Absolutely beautiful image. So, in addition to that miserliness, frugality, and greed, what are the less negative meanings of the Four of Pentacles? Well, saving money is part of it. Control, security, conservation. Like, think of it in terms of conservation of wildlife rather than conservatives in a political party, right? Think of it as protecting and keeping safe, kind of conservation, right? Wonderful things, security, conservation, not controlling other people, but controlling myself, my own behavior, being stable, following schedules, that kind of thing. But then I look at this elephant and I don't think saving money, I don't think control. What I think of is, one, stability. Yeah, elephants they're not high on the food chain per se because they are herbivores, right? They don't kill and eat other animals. But as far as predators, yeah, they don't really have many, right? They're big and powerful enough that they can protect themselves, and most other creatures are nervous of where they're going to put their feet. Oh my God, this thing's going to step on me. Not necessarily deliberately, but even by accident. An elephant can be a little bit dangerous if they're not careful. Yes? So what do I see here? I see a secure being who has what they need and is stable, is in control of his or her fate or destiny. Yeah? I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. Nobody's going to bother me. I'm okay. I have what I need. All is good. Right? I kind of see in this card, the all is good card. We're all okay. Everything's fine. Does that make sense? Can you see that? Also, good memory. We always say elephants never forget, right? Familial connection is important for elephants, right? They grieve members of their herd that are lost. They grieve members of their family who are lost. Elephants are beautiful animals, and they're sensitive, and they feel deeply. But they're also strong and they're stable. And I think it's that strength and stability, that natural just power. Not aggressive power, but just standing there powerfully. Yeah? I think that's what the advice is. You're here. You're good. You've got what you need. Nobody's going to mess with you. You're okay. That's the advice, to know that, to know our okayness. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, so friends, I think that's where we are, right? We're called, we're supported by the divine. We have the light of the divine within. We're waking up, and we can recognize that we're okay. Both we are worthy, we are successful, we deserve to be where we are, and then the Four of Pentacles really shows us in the material realm, not only the realm of our inner passions, but the material realm, we're okay, we're stable, we're good. We have what we need. No one's going to mess with us. Right? So, we've got 3 cards of the Oracle deck to look at. We will look at them right now and see how they modify the information we got from the 3 tarot cards above. Are you ready for that, friends? Here are the Oracle cards. So the first thing I noticed when I see these 3 cards laid out by themselves is that though the tone of all of these cards is similar. Now, not all of the cards are this tone in this deck. Some of them are a strong brown gold. Some of them are very black. There is some shift of tone in these cards as well, but there's a general similar tone of these 3 cards, except for one thing in that last card, right? That last card had a rainbow and fruit. So the cards flow to more color, more vibrancy, and a rainbow of hope, right? So we're moving in what I see is we go through some darkness and get to some light. Yeah? So, what are the 3 cards? The first card is this one. It's at the bottom, it's called Exhausting. This is the Exhausting and Challenges card. Yeah? And it is... Ooh, gosh. I erased my information. It is... Yeah, it's water over wind. Right? It's water over wind. The Chinese pronunciation is, I think, kun. Kun. Don't quote me on that, though. Yeah? So water over wind, what does that tell us? It tells us to face current challenges and that they are temporary. Yeah? What was I just saying in that previous Lenormand reading? Yeah? Face current challenges, they are temporary. Persevere, and you'll be able to navigate things successfully. And so there's that element of perseverance that we touched on when we looked at the mice that I did not emphasize, but this set of cards is saying, okay, you shouldn't have glossed over that. Perseverance is important for this coming period of time. Yes? We're asked to be alert to misunderstandings and misleading situations. Remember the difficulties, the problems, the worries, the things about our relationships with the loved one. Well, there we go, right here. Be alert to misunderstandings and misreading situations. Dedication and persistence will help. Stay patient and open to learning to prepare for what's next. Right? So things, we're not really understanding necessarily what's going on. We think we do, but probably we're not. There are problems here. Talked about that in the last video. There are problems here. They will end if we keep going, and we want to prepare for that, right? Which is where we are coming from and where we are moving to in the situation of this awakening, this rebirth that is supported by the divine. Right? This support for this supported awakening and hearing our inner calling is within the context of these challenges, misunderstandings, misleading situations. And we're asked to stay patient and keep going forward. Don't freak out and be reactive and say, no, let's end. I run away. No, and become petulant and reactive and create more problems. That's not where. Persistent. Keep going forward. Right? Allow the awakening to happen. And then, notice this little pond here. Notice how little and alone that pond looks, kind of like this tree here, where we're waking up, but maybe we feel kind of alone, yeah? Right? And then that 5. The next card is number 5. The title is Waiting, but it's waiting and patient. And it's water over heaven. The other one was water over wind. This one is water over heaven. And it's a very dark, gloomy looking card, right? And the Chinese pronunciation might be su, maybe. And the description says that it's best not to act, to let things unfold for now. Don't try to mess with things. Let things unfold. We're asked to hold on to what we have, especially when things are difficult or uncertain. And we're coming out of a time of misunderstandings, misleading situations. Things are difficult and uncertain. So we're, like I said, don't be reactive. We don't want to be reactive now. We want to hold on to what we have. Don't fight against it. Even if it feels like something's wrong, don't fight against it. Let things unfold. And remember, this is underneath and modifying the success card. So it doesn't mean, so this success card apparently is not like we're going to have roses strewn at our feet, and we're going to have laurel wreaths placed on our heads, and people are going to be applauding, but rather we want to know that we are worthy here because things are unsettled. The Six of Wands card is here to tell us that we are worthy, we can have self-confidence, we will be successful. But the Oracle card is saying, but don't do anything with this information right now, right? Let things unfold. Let things become as they are. Don't fight. Like this lion here is not passive, but not ready to attack. The lion is just standing there, right? Observant, aware, but not reactive. That's how we want to be as our self-confident and recognizing of our worth beings in the world. Hold on to what we have. Especially now. And so, here comes the rainbow card with the fruit, right? This one. And the subtitle is beneficial. It's wind over thunder. So we had water over wind here, but here we have wind over thunder. Yeah? I think the pronunciation of this character is Yi. And just like the reading from the Lenormand was moving towards finding our path, finding good fortune, pots of gold at the ends of rainbows, maybe not that much good fortune, but good fortune, new stage in life. This card is telling us that if we move in the right way and we are smart, great growth is possible. What did I tell you in that Lenormand spread? That's basically where we were going, right? So if we do it right, going ahead will be successful. We will be successful. We're asked to act fast, but be smart. So when we see the chance, we want to go for it. But we want to think it through. We don't want to be stupid. We don't want to be foolhardy and rush into the darkness blind. But when we do see a clear opportunity that is lit and looks what? Looks right. We want to act fast and move into that portal before the portal closes. This isn't saying panic, right? This isn't saying to, okay, I gotta make sure. That's not the posture we want to have. The posture we want to have is, yes, Six of Wands. I am here. I am worthy. Everything is okay. With the elephant, right? I have everything that I need. And when I see the rainbow, when I see the fruit blossom, I'm not going to be sitting there, okay, so show it to me. When is it going to happen? I'm not this, I am not this, I am this. Rainbow, fruit, yes, go. Right? That's the attitude. That's the attitude for living an intentional life. The attitude for living an intentional life is not, okay, show me. That's resistant. Almost as resistant as, I gotta find the right, which door is right? Which door is right? Is it open? Both of them are resistant. The way to live an intentional life is to be here, present, awake, open, ready. And then you say, oh yes. Right? Awake and poised and aware. That's why every video I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness, open, pure awareness, so that you're well and ready and not desperately seeking, but ready and yes, this is it. Right? And so we've got help from the divine. The Lenormand Spread seemed to be pointing towards help from our partners, whatever that partner, that loving partner is for us. But we've got if things have been rough for us in the recent past and maybe still unstable feeling right now, we're moving into something good. If we're ready. If we're not ready like, oh no, I gotta study, I gotta get ready, but if we are here, ready, willing and able, it's there. It's going to be, it is there. It's there and opening for us now. That might be the title of this video. It's there and opening for us now. Yeah? Does that make sense? Can you see how this works? And how, like the elephant, when the elephant sees the coconut drop from the tree, just picking something, I don't know. Do elephants eat coconuts? Anyways, when the elephant sees the coconut drop from the tree, the elephant isn't like, oh, drop, 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 right? The elephant doesn't see the thing drop and go, oh, I gotta go. The elephant sees it drop and go, oh, boom, food, oh. Right? Because everything's okay. I think that's the attitude we're asked for in this coming week. Does that make sense? If it does, let me know in the comments below. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments below. If my odd attempts at acting out what I'm thinking for you are disturbing to you, let me know in the comments below. And friends, thank you. Thank you for being with me on this journey through this spread. You helped me a lot. You helped me understand this spread by your presence. Thank you. And in just a moment, if you want, there will be a QR code up there for you. If you want to scan it, you can go on over to my online tarot shop and order a reading from me, or my web address is also there too. Yeah, DerekJohnThomas.com. Easy to remember, easy to find, easy to type. Go on over, you'll see my shop. Order something, okay, if you want. For yourself, order a reading for yourself, for your friends, for your loved ones, for your partner, for your parents. You can always give a reading as a gift, right? And so friends, thank you. Thank you. And now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.